What's up, everyone? Dave from Fan Futsal here, coming to you live from in front of my scarf wall here to recap the Portugal versus US match. November 14th just ended. Probably ended a couple minutes ago for you guys, but I have cut the cord and I'm on Sling now. So live sports are about 2 to 3 minutes delayed, which in the age of notifications, instant notifications, and Twitter is just lovely. So match ended 1-1. Keep things in perspective. I mean, overall, it was a meaningless friendly. Still thought the U.S. played well. I mean, Portugal on paper has some pretty impressive players, and I thought the U.S. definitely held their own throughout the match. Pre-match, I thought the lineup was a bit surprising. They came out with 4 center midfielders in the U.S. lineup. All this is going to be pretty much from the U.S. perspective if you haven't caught the gist, considering I'm wearing an American flag type of shirt. I thought the U.S. lineup was a bit interesting, just with having the 4 center midfielders. Also, Lehigh over Villafania was a bit interesting. Just seems like Villafania is kind of the chosen left back of the future. I personally don't rate him that much, and you saw that in the second half. I think his foot speed isn't that great. So for me, it wasn't too big of a deal. Also, Lehigh's mustache. That was pretty impressive as well. Bruce on the coverage for Fox. I mean, it was just weird to see. I mean, it's probably too soon, but it was just odd for me. And Danny Williams, a captain, again, slightly confusing considering he hasn't been in the picture in over a year, but thought he played pretty well throughout. First half, I thought the U.S. played exceptionally well. I thought they played very, very well, had a good start. First 5 minutes, they were very physical, really high press on top of them, forced a ton of turnovers, especially early on, and almost took advantage of those. I thought throughout the team looked really, really fast and organized. Defensively, they did a great job of condensing space, both vertically and horizontally. Everything was really tight, and that led to a ton of interceptions. A lot of the players that were playing were fast, and I thought that played a role as well, but that was really, really great to see. Offensively, though, this is something that U.S. constantly struggles with, and it drives me a little bit crazy, but when we're building out of the back in possession, too often the guy in possession of the ball has 2 options. It has another defender pass to horizontally who's open, and then they have one midfielder to pass to, and they're generally at least have one guy on them, if not more, and under pressure. And so unless the defenders are hitting these line-splitting passes, which doesn't really happen too often, we're losing possession when we shouldn't be. You need more midfielders and more options checking back to the ball. That's my personal opinion on how the U.S. needs to play. I thought Sapong and Agudelo played really, really well. They were very strong out of the back, or not out of the back, just in possession. I mean, they're just physical beasts. And so it was nice to see them playing against this opposition and doing really well. Obviously, the McKennie goal was huge for McKennie. Started with that first-time ball from Acosta. I thought he hit a really, really good pass out to Sapong on the wing. So Sapong played that nice ball in between, and McKennie had a nice move there. And so overall, I thought that was a really, really nice goal. Talked about the interceptions, and that was really good. That Acosta and Williams collision in the first half, that just looked brutal. I'm shocked that both players ended up being okay, because that was a pretty high-speed head-to-head collision. And so I was fortunate that both players ended up being really good. Got to mention the mistake from Horvath. Horvath, that was I mean, he knows it, and I hate to harp on players, but man, that was rough. So ball across the face of goal. I mean, he has to get his body behind it. I mean, you always hear about in American football, you catch with your hands away from your body. I mean, he's either got to get his hands behind the ball or got to get his body behind it. But he knows what he did, and I don't want to harp too much on it, but that was just really poor, because overall the U.S. I thought played a really, really good half. Particular note in the first half, I thought the players that played really well were Brooks, Acosta, Sapong, Agudelo, and McKennie. And Horvath, I hate to call him out. I mean, he did bounce back and had a couple good saves after that miss, after that giant mistake in the first half. So overall, that's how I thought the first half went. It was frustrating. Just, I know it's a meaningless friendly, but it was frustrating after how much lack of energy the U.S. displayed in that match against Trinidad and Tobago, to go back to that, and just how just bouncing around. These players, at least some of them, could have helped, whether it was McKennie or Adams. Just the energy that those players bring in, the engines that they have, they definitely could have been useful in that World Cup qualifying match. Second half, CCV, Cameron Carter-Vickers, came on for Miazga, and I thought it was interesting to see them two switch positions. So Miazga went from right center back in the first half to left center back, and Cameron Carter-Vickers went to right center back. Either way, I thought they both played fairly well. I thought CCV was a little bit taller. I know he's really, really husky and strong, but thought he was a bit taller. Doesn't matter. I thought they both played fairly well. I mean, the second half, things got so disjointed because that's what happens in friendlies. And, you know, it went okay. You know, they played okay. I'm going to fanboy out for a minute here. So full disclosure, I'm a Philly Union fan, supporter, long time. I am a huge fan of CJ Sapong. I think he plays exceptionally well. He's so strong in hold-up play. I think he gets the balls that you don't expect him to get to. He's a little bit quicker than what you'd expect. He's able to control balls that you don't expect him to be able to control under pressure. And his passes are great. He defends really well. And also his just overall demeanor. He gets up. He works hard. He doesn't complain. And I just want to give him a shout-out because I thought he played exceptionally well. And I have been a huge CJ fan for a long time, even before his Union days, but especially now that he's on the Union. Talked about how the game, you know, got really disjointed. I thought Portugal looked much better in the second half, definitely in the first part of the second half. Lyndon Gooch, you know, looked all right in a couple of times when he got the ball and started running with it, had a couple of bad giveaways, but overall, meaningless friendly. I was very happy and surprised at how well the U.S. played in the first half. You never know. A lot of these guys getting their first cap, you don't know how they're going to do with that. And whether it was McKennie, Adams, I thought they all played well throughout. Miazga, I thought Williams played pretty well as captain, defensive center, midfielder. And overall, you know, happy with how the U.S. played, frustrated that they couldn't play this way. A lot of these players weren't involved in World Cup qualifying beforehand, but ultimately it's a meaningless friendly. I'm encouraged by what I saw from a lot of players. I wouldn't be shocked if some of the players that are in MLS may be getting calls this January about transfers. And so overall, you know, it was an enjoyable match, especially the first half. I expect the U.S. to bounce back over this next cycle, and I am bullish on what the future holds. So that was my quick take reaction to this match. Hope you liked it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. See you, everyone. Bye.